Organizations are just borrowing large amounts of money from each other and then using that to make money by lending it to others who are using that to lend it to others.
Rising inequality poses the biggest threat to the global economy.
People cannot get rich unless living standards for those who aren't rich are rising. Think about it.
If so many people are struggling with rising costs and stagnant wages, why do wealthy people seem to be getting wealthier every year? House prices rise. Wealthy people own them, so they get richer. Stock markets rise. Wealthy people own stocks, so they get richer. Wealth records being broken constantly. Meanwhile, most people are working harder just to maintain the same standard of living. So, what do wealthy people understand that most people don't? Most people assume rich people get rich because they earn bigger salaries. And yes, many wealthy individuals do have large incomes. But that's often not where their wealth actually comes from. Here's the critical distinction most people miss. Wealth and income are not the same thing. Income is what you earn. Wealth is what you own. Understanding that difference explains why some people get richer while others work harder and get nowhere. Let's be precise about these two concepts. Income is what you earn. Salary, wages, bonuses, money that comes in regularly from work. Wealth is what you own. Property, businesses, stocks, investments, what you accumulate over time. Here's the key insight. Income is what you earn. Wealth is what you own. A person can earn high income and own little. A person can own significant wealth and earn moderate income. The wealthy focus on building wealth. Most people focus on income. That's the difference. Here's the fundamental mechanism behind wealth growth. Over time, assets appreciate, property values rise, businesses grow, investments compound. Meanwhile, salaries grow much slower. Let's use housing as a simple example. In 1980, a median house cost about $48,000. Today, that same house is worth roughly $400,000. That's a 733% increase. A person who earned a $30,000 salary in 1980 was, in real terms, wealthier relative to housing prices than someone earning $100,000 today. But here's what's crucial. The person who owned that house in 1980 didn't have to do anything to become wealthier. The asset appreciated on its own. Assets continue generating value year after year. This is why asset ownership is so powerful. This leads to the second major insight: compounding. A salary gets earned, then spent. It gets taxed. It supports living costs. It disappears. An asset works differently. It can appreciate. It can generate income. It can be leveraged, borrowed against to buy more assets. A property that appreciates 5% per year compounds over time. A stock portfolio that averages 8% annual returns will double every 9 years without you earning more money. A rental property that appreciates while generating income compounds even faster. The rental income can be reinvested into more properties. This is where the snowball effect begins. Wealth often grows from previous wealth. The more you own, the more you can leverage, and the faster your wealth compounds. Most people's wealth grows linearly from salary. Wealthy people's wealth grows exponentially from assets. This creates a widening gap that explains why the rich keep getting richer while others struggle. When house prices rise, people who own them become wealthier instantly. People trying to buy them later face higher barriers. When stock markets rise, people who own stocks get richer. People who don't own stocks see their currency eroded by inflation. The same forces making life more expensive for some people are increasing wealth for others. Someone who owned real estate in 2008 watched their wealth crash, then boom during the recovery. Someone saving to buy a house watched prices fall, then rise out of reach. The timing of asset ownership determines your economic trajectory. Once you own assets, the system works in your favor. This isn't about individuals working harder. It's about who was positioned to own assets when asset prices accelerated. This is important This isn't about good people versus bad people. It's largely how modern financial systems work. Modern economies are increasingly built around asset ownership. The system rewards people who own assets and punishes people who only earn wages. Central banks keep interest rates low, inflating asset prices. The system needs asset prices to keep rising. The more assets inflate, the more wealth is created for people who own them, and the harder it becomes for people without assets to acquire them. Step back, and the entire pattern connects. Inflation erodes purchasing power for wage earners while making assets more valuable. Cheap money inflates housing and stock prices, benefiting asset owners. Rising debt sustains growth that inflates asset prices further. Modern economies are built on this cycle: asset appreciation, inflation, and debt expansion. Throughout this system, ownership of assets determines who gets richer. The wealthy simply understand, or inherited understanding of, how the system works. They know that income doesn't create wealth. Asset ownership does. The rich don't necessarily get richer because they work harder. They often get richer because they own assets that continue growing in value, compounding year after year, while most people earn salaries that grow linearly. Understanding that difference may be one of the most important financial lessons of the modern economy. Because once you recognize that the system rewards ownership over labor, you can stop blaming yourself for not getting ahead through work alone, and start understanding what actually drives wealth. The system is designed to reward asset ownership, and the people who understand that are the ones who get richer.